machinery was freezing. Animals, pack animals.
So winter was no joke. Huh?
Whoa, you know, and whoa. But that was one of the things, and the NATO forces, we were prepared for the Russians if they should ever break loose because they had already overrun Berlin, and four nations had taken over Berlin, like the United States, France, England, and they had it partitioned into four sections. Even though Berlin was surrounded by the Russians, and once the NATO forces made that line across west of Berlin, Stalin got the message, hey, we're about to go start a third world war because these people are ready, you know, and we were. Right.
Right. So then, were you on the front line, or how?
No, I was never a frontline
okay.
soldier. My duties were primarily to the rear at being a demolition specialist. I knew how to fight because I was trained as a foot soldier and a combat engineer. But my duties as a demolition specialist was to blow up stuff, whatever it was to be blown up, and we were trained and we had equipment for that. In other words, if we were to have been overrun, then myself and others would be the last guys to retreat, and we would blow up anything that the enemy might be able to use, and we knew that. Or if they needed you up front for some demolition, you had to do that. Sometimes they had people who had to disarm mines and stuff like blowing it up. I never had to do that, but they call these so-called sappers. They were well trained, and then it was so dangerous, you know. And I got scared to death out of it. And I had nothing to say about it. I went to demolition school after I got out of basic. Most of my guys went over to Korea, and I was wondering why I didn't get orders. And they said, you go to demolition school, care of use of explosives. I said, well, I know I'm going to Korea now. But after I got 5 weeks of demolition training, I was surprised they sent me to Germany because they had certain mines over there that had to be exploded and detonated that was still in the ground. Then they had to build certain barracks for troops and whatnot, and they had stone just quality deep in the earth that bulldozers couldn't lift out with it. We had to go in and drill holes and then dynamite down it and blow it up so the bulldozers would come and push all that stuff on. So they could build foundations, you know.
Did you witness any casualties?
No, no casualties whatsoever. The Cold War was the Cold War. It could have been a hot war, but the Russians and NATO came to a sort of a standstill after all, the line of defense. And Russia saw, as far as we can go, we better leave it right there. Otherwise, you're going to start a third World War. And we saw that, and it's kind of like the Korean, the 38th parallel. Same thing, 38th parallel.
So you were there when so that whole issue of standing your ground.
That's right.
That's
it.
What about friendships and camaraderies? Did you?
Tremendous, yeah. Troops became sort of like brothers, and they still do. I know we have a lot of segregation yet going on, but units, once you're with a unit, black, white, you kind of come together. And it's nothing you're going to explain, you just do it. And you depend on each other, you live together, eat together, play together, go out on paths together, and you look out for each other. I knew some guys I ran in white and other colors that I remember vaguely, good guys, white guys, African American, Indians, whomever they were. just beautiful people, you know, once you get to know them. And we treat each other like we belong to each other, you know, and that's the way it should be. I've never had other white troops or black troops who act, because the ones that I know act in a segregated way toward me. Once we trained together and been together, and we look out for each other, and that's the way it is.
Now, tell me about your family and friends back home. How did you stay in touch, communicate? You speak of your wife. Was your wife before or after military?
Yeah, I was married at the time.
Okay.
I had sisters and brothers at home, younger than I. Well, I had a brother younger than I. My stepbrother and my younger sister.
Mm-hmm.
And I would come home on occasion, and they just accepted it after a while. It was just, and I didn't come home a heck of a lot. So we would talk and write letters. My sister right ahead of me, she and I would correspond more so than the younger ones, because she was about a year and a half older than I. And anything that happened, she would write about it, or if she needed something, it was a change. It was coming. Right. Yeah. So, and my dad, I wouldn't write him a lot because I would come home on the pass, you know. And I'm glad for that reason. You kept things kind of on a nice keel, because you could come home on the pass and on the weekend or a few days. And then when I got ready to go overseas, I had 21 days home between going overseas. And so that made a difference too. You know.
And so again, this is 51 to 53?
The year? 1951.
Okay.
You know, 51. And I got out to go into the reserve in 53.
Okay.
You know, about 2 years.
And then how was the reserve experience?
I was not on active reserve, so I couldn't. Active reserve, much like as you might guess, because you're doing the same things. Active reserve, you're really staying in training, and you're moving as a unit. Matter of fact, active reserve can be called up by the president. I think that's the way it goes. So too many of them went to Afghanistan and other places, because you're active reserve. Inactive, they won't do that. Because the active stay in together. They have their own command. Matter of fact, they're just another part of the active military.
Gotcha.
You know?
And then when you were off duty, what kind of recreational?
Off duty was nice. You go into town, especially overseas. Over here even. You go to town with guys, and if you got a date or something, you could do that. Or if you want to come home, if you didn't live too far from home. So it was a good way to keep your wits about you somewhat. You come home, but like I said, the difference, you know, when you first hit somewhere, you get home. Oh my God, you know, I don't know. It's just something about it that struck me that's different between the two, you know. And after a day or two, you kind of get into it, you know.
When you have to go back on the base, is it an adjustment there too?
That's right. Then you leave the civilian to go back to the base, you know. And after 24 hours, oh well, I'm back. It was that kind of a thing. Coming home, it was nice to get home, and I think it made you appreciate what you had, what you were doing, and it made me, and I think other people, appreciate your life, period, because this didn't have to be, you know, because it could be taken away from you right now, either way, you know.
So the next part is about coming home. So you did your 2 years.
Yeah.
And you came back to inactive duty, but just kind of coming home. What was it? The war ended, or you just had done your time?
I just served my time.
Okay.
Each person drafted, citizen soldier, had served 2 years, regardless, unless you had what do they call it, an excuse, or you were involved in something, a civilian type situation, or perhaps if you were going to school and you would get a deferment, something like that.
I think I've heard if you're an only child, like a male only child.
I'm glad you
something.
mentioned that because that's true. If you the eldest male, that made a difference. Matter of fact, that happened to me. My older brother injured in service, and I'd already lost my second older brother through sickness, and then my third older brother, he passed too. I was all three of my brothers ahead of me, and my oldest sister stayed alive, and my next sister. That made me the eldest child. So when it came time for me to go overseas, my outfit and trade went to Korea, and I wondered why I didn't go. And nobody ever said anything, told me about it. I was like, what is it, a private Ryan or something? I didn't know that it was but they sent me to Germany, like, why? And I didn't worry about it, so why? But I'm pretty sure that must have been the reason. And so I didn't go to Korea, and for that, I think for that main reason, you know, because that was a shooting war. Oh, God. You know, crazy.
Yeah, watch your head. So how did your family receive you when you came home and
They were
community?
Happy. They were happy. I was through with it, and I think they were very pleased and proud somewhat. I was glad to get out of there. I wanted to continue going to do what young men do, you know. And I had some ideas about going to school and all that kind of stuff, and just being a citizen anymore, you know.
And you talked a little bit about the readjusting. So did you go off to school, or kind of what happened next when you got back home?
I didn't go right away. No, I didn't go right away. I wanted to find certain schools. I'd call myself. I wanted to be a commercial artist and all that kind of stuff. And I'm looking at writing different schools, and I found Illinois University, which gave me a 4-year program to become a commercial artist. Exactly what I liked for 4 years, but the money wasn't there. So we went to GI Bill and Causeway back then, but so I just went to work in the steel mill for a while, and went to school part time at what they had at Gary College at that time, which became a part of Indiana University branch, and it was a 2-year little college at that time. And then they got caught up with Indiana University, making it a 4-year situation. And I had enough credit out of my counsel said, I don't know why you wasting your time. You need to go off on the campus. I didn't have money to do that, but eventually that's why I went on to work. That made me some money so I could go to school. And with the GI Bill, that helped. I was able to go with the GI Bill. Made a difference. And I worked out on campus. I worked student employment. You know, and you get discounts, books, and everything. And I ate good many steaks even at that. By working.
So you ate well.
I ate good. I want a good steak. I got to reserve some of that money.
So how was it being a student but having had the military experience, where you were
I think
a little more worldly, or?
The military is not all bad. It's like anything else. It's how you adapt to it. You know the reasons why. It was good in a lot of respects for a lot of guys, and including myself, because you made you a part of something bigger than you knew why. And it was a challenge to you. If the other guys can do it, I can do it, you know. And then there are certain benefits too. The camaraderie, brotherhood, that you wouldn't trade for anything. Even now I go to the VA, the hospital and whatnot, and the guys, it's just like a big family. Mm-hmm. And we look, you know, we just feel good toward each other, you know. I like that.
Do you stay in touch with any of the guys or anyone still around that
I'm sorry.
anyone that's around that served with you?
Yeah, because serviceman is a big, what do they call it? It's not a big club, but it's just I'm trying to think of the word that you belong to. You know, nobody has to say. You just feel it. I belong.
It's like a brotherhood or fraternity.
It's the brother. I think I like that.
Brotherhood.
It's a brotherhood that you know you've served, and you respect each other because you know they've served, and it's kind of a closeness. You feel it, and that's a good thing.
Now, were there any women serving while you were there?
No women served,
Okay.
and they had women in serving at that time, but they were all women units.
Okay.
Now the nurses, well, yeah, they were part of the medical type stuff. But I saw in Germany, they had a unit down the road from us. They were all women.
Okay.
I forget what their duties were. They were the only truck drivers. They did everything for themselves. And when anything needed to be done, the women did it. They changed tires, the trucks and everything. I forget what they call that unit. They were not nurses. It was something special, something they were doing over there. And, but that was unusual.
Okay.
And the rest of them were probably Army nurses and that kind of stuff. Or they're working in offices and so forth, under the which might have been, but as you well know, they had Women Army Corps and the Navy, the Waves and all that. They had certain special
The wax.
things that they had to do, you know. But now that we've gotten into the days where women are actually pilots and commanders of ships, as you well know, even submarine commanders. Up there. When I see a woman admiral, I'll take my hat off. Oh, they suffered too. To get the do up there because you know they still got all that stuff going on about women, this, that, But I always respected the women, the nurses, and everything, and even today, I respect them.
Right.
You got to care about you. They're beautiful. They know how to. They're good leaders. You know, well trained. I heard where this lady was a commander of a ship, some destroyer, something, a cruiser, big vessel. She's an admiral and all that. I tell you, honey, you got the brains. You know what to do.
They make it happen.
That's right. Hey, talent, you know, and she deserved every accolade she can get because she suffered, and I know that from guys, from certain men.
Yeah, and I ask you about the women. Kind of what is, I won't say what is talked about a lot today are the don't ask, don't tell, or gays in the military. Did you have to? Did you see how they were treated, or what was the sentiment?
We were not into that like they are today because society has kind of opened on to that. Way back then, I think we suspected certain guys. Not a lot of guys, but again, they were respected.
Okay.
They had certain jobs to do, and the guy said, well, he's kind of, but nobody bothered him, nobody came to care. He had his own special people, and one of the drivers over there, I'll never forget that. He was very feminine way he talked to me. So he was the best big truck driver they had.
Okay.
They had special jobs that guy, he could do. And he was very feminine, and nobody cared. Like
So just do your job.
No, that's so-and-so, so what? You know.
Okay.
And respect. That's all you can. I respect him.
Okay. Good. Yeah. So tell us what you've done since the military. So we had you up in Gary, Indiana. Somehow you got to Atlanta, Georgia. So tell us what happened in between.
Why am I down here in Georgia? They made me an offer I couldn't refuse. No. What happened up there was interesting. I worked through retired up there and everything, and
Did you retire from the steel mill? Is that because
I retired from
okay.
Gilkey and the mills too, because I worked 2 jobs sometimes. Sent my kids to college, making them money, And then I started making money for myself. I'm gonna tell the truth.
Doing all that work, you might as well make some for
Yeah,
yourself,
that's
right?
right. Save a little for yourself too. But Mom and I, we went to different places. West Indies, Honolulu, where we stayed a week or 2, making money. And I had money when I retired. But as I've aged, the cost of living caught up in paying for old houses and refinancing them, trying to live. It takes something, then you have to live on what you make. And I didn't invest in big time, which is all right anyway. I lived just as well. I had my family, and that made some difference. So I left Gary because of the house up there was getting worse, and I'm paying taxes on it, and I stopped. I said, use my money for me. I'm not putting in things anymore, And we're aging now that I can't worry about having a big old house, Not that I don't enjoy a nice place to live. So my son lived down the street. And Kai's father, Dad, why don't you just come on down here? And then my daughters, you were retired, you need that. I was working part-time and enjoying it, making money, bowling every week.
Yeah.
And finally, my health subsided to COPD and other stuff. And so it just made sense to me to just come on down with family, because sometimes I have these breathing attacks that were not too good. And so they kept talking to me, and then I had a daughter up in Indianapolis, and come stay with me, blah, blah, blah. I said, well, I'm used to staying by myself. So here I am right here. But anyway, to make a long story short, I enjoy my children and everything, and they're looking out for old pops. And I'm down here, and anyway, I'm glad I relocated, because the weather for one thing, and my children, my daughter, she moved down here, my eldest daughter, she's a registered nurse, she tell me what. So
Make you be a good patient.
yeah, and Mama, she's a nurse too. They know what's best for me. And so we moved down. We've been here about a year and a half now.
Okay.
And I enjoy it. And as long as I get my daily bread, the rest take care of itself.
It will. It will.
But I'm here, and I got my own place, and I'm able to take care of that so far. And I enjoy people.
So I have some wrap-up questions.
Okay.
We're getting at the end. How does your wartime experience affect your life? Kind of reflecting on that.
Not that much. It affected me in that I want the world to be more toward brotherhood, and it gets me to see people treating other people the way they do. And they call themselves God's people. All people are God's people. And I realize humans will do this because man is something else. He will destroy this, that, the other. And I wonder about that. And but there it is. I always learned in my lifetime. I learned to listen to my family and how they treated me and how other people treat you as a family. In the community, everybody raises somebody else's kid. How's the saying go? In the village, the whole world should be like the village, and it's not. Because we got some evil people who want too much, they're greedy, they want to control, and that's so sickening to me. But for those people who want this, they have to stand up to that, because there's a dual kind of a thing in this universe that's going on, And if we allow that to happen to us, then we have to blame ourselves. Even talk about ISIS, to me, I can understand why that should be. Other than there's evil on the earth, and what does God have to do with everything, I suppose, or nothing? I don't know. But we're all brothers and sisters. And for us to hate each other, and something wrong.
Maybe not being need to be a global citizen.
Something wrong.
Right, right.
When you can live so peacefully, not that you're supposed to accept everything about it, but we're different, and we have to respect that. I could always walk away from you, maybe. And then we have people who are controlling and making things bad for other people, and they intend to do that. Why? I don't know. Weird. You know.
So what are some of the life lessons that you've learned from the military service?
The military was a good prop, and I don't want to use the word prop. The military is a strength type, a mental thing. It says you can do this if you will, if you put your mind to it. Just like anything else, you can do it, and you have to have a reason to do it. You don't just do it just to be. The military is there for a purpose because certain parts of mankind don't believe in brotherhood, or they want something that they feel they ought to have by force or what have you. The military is not all bad and it's not all good. To me, it's a way to defend you and protect yourself. But when you start using the military to control and to misuse people, then that's a sin, you know. That's wrong. Anything. So military, yes, the military. We should have a military. We should have a strong military, because there's people in the world that don't like us, and they want to get rid of you, and so we have to have that military presence, you know.
So that's the next question was, what are your feelings about war and just military service in general? So
wars is not all bad. Nothing's all bad or all good. You got to have a balance, and with mankind, you got to have a balance, because he's got so much stuff in himself that he caters toward greed, control, and he looks toward things that are not good for him. And I don't think he's found himself yet, because if you find the truth in yourself, you don't need all this stuff, you know. And that's easy for me to sit here and say. That's what is truth, but truth is God, I think, and nobody knows the ultimate of that. So God has given us a mind to create all this stuff, all of it, and then some. And we haven't seen yet how powerful the human mind is with the grace of God. Mm-hmm. But that grace should be toward uplifting, and it should be angelic, you know. So I think President Obama said it there, the grace of God works through us. We talk about the grace of God, the grace of God. The grace of God works through us. Mm-hmm. And we have to be ready to accept that and do that, and care for our fellow men and women, you know.
So what message would you leave for future generations? This one right here.
My message, I believe, was live and let live. Live and let live. Don't be a fool now, but live and let that, you know, it's easy to say that, because it brings about so many things. Easy to live and let it go. Respect. As you can see right now, we're into gays and other. We're into people with flag stuff going on, and with the flag, so forth.
Talking about the Confederate flag issues of today.
And my thing is, if you love your brother as yourself, why would you need a flag to disgrace him or yourself? We are the one nation, and we fought a war for it. You just needed one flag. You don't need two flags, because that two flags is separation. We're not together. And we don't need two flags. And I don't care what they say about the old this South and all that. You don't need one flag. And come together and stop this division, you know. Racism, we got so much division, and the military brings about togetherness for a one common purpose. Once they know what that purpose is, they come together to achieve that. And I think mankind needs to do the same thing. But maybe we don't know what that common purpose, and we do know, but man is not angelic, totally.
So did I touch on everything? Any last words? Comments?
No, I don't think
concerns?
there's such thing as
For tonight, for the last word for
no
tonight.
such thing as last word, because we'll be through.
Right. That's
No,
okay,
I
for
just
tonight.
get no big attention.
None of us want to say our last words, right?
Thank God there are many more words
Right,
to come.
right, definitely.
That last word means you.
Did any of your family or you keep letters that you wrote from that time?
I
or
would very quickly say
photos?
no.
Okay.
That's been 3,000 years ago.
Okay, who keeps letters these days? I know. I just thought I'd ask.
But I tell you what I did find. I found some stuff, and it had that I wrote when I was in the 4th or 5th grade.
Did you? Okay.
And stuff I found in an old scout box somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
It floored me. But that's another story too. No, I don't have a lot of. No, I don't have anything.
No photos of you in your uniform or.
I got pictures here with uniform and stuff like that, but they're softly somewhere.
Okay.
And,
We'll have to.
that kind of stuff. No, I don't.
When
I know I have a few pictures here somewhere. We've been moving about
Right.
too, and so I don't.
So you have to help me when he stumbles over them and you find them. Let me know so I can come and take pictures of the pictures.
Yeah, I saw some pictures here somewhere
Okay.
that I run across. While I was
I'm
in
sure
Europe.
you're quite distinguished now, so I can imagine you in your uniform.
I'm glad you told me that.
I didn't have to tell you that. You knew that already. You knew that already. So,
But it's interesting, and it's been an enjoyable evening.
well, I enjoyed meeting you and hearing of that time. And, you know, as you say, as a historian, you know, hearing living history is always better than reading it in a book. So,
Thank you.
so
Thank you very
I
much.
thank you for your service. We thank you for your service,
You're
and
quite
thank you
welcome.
for your time this
Quite
evening.
welcome.
Thank you.